AMD UDNA Radeon gaming GPUs rumored to enter mass production in Q2 2026. Sony PS6 also expected to utilize next-gen architecture. AMD's next-gen UDNA architecture-based Radeon gaming GPUs will allegedly enter mass production in Q2 2026 and also be integrated into Sony's PS6. AMD UDNA 2N RDNA series, first general to succeed RDNA 4 with Radeon gaming GPUs entering mass production in Q2 2026. Sony PS6 integration also in plans. It has already been reported that AMD plans to bring its GPU lineup under one unified architecture which will be known as UDNA. This will combine the best of the UDNA, Instinct, and RDNA, Radeon, lineups under one roof. This will mark a fresh start for the AMD GPU division, which currently has two different architectures aimed at different applications. While little is known about the changes that will be made to the architecture itself, they will be succeeding the UDNA 4 and RDNA 4 family of GPUs, which are expected to be the last to use these naming conventions. Currently, AMD marks the Instinct MI400 series as UDNA next, and it is reported that this will be changed to UDNA along with the successor to RDNA 4, which should have been called RDNA 5 series with the existing naming. The UDNA lineup will still be split into two segments, one targeting I and HPC while the other targets gamers. Based on a post by Chifel forum member, Zhang, who has recently been active and posted some information that turned out to be correct, mainly regarding the 9800 by 3D, it looks like the user has some new points to share about the AMD UDNA lineup. First, he states that the AMD Instinct MI400 and the Radeon RX 9000 series will utilize the UDNA architecture. Now it isn't official if AMD will use the RX 9000 series branding to go along with a new architecture slate, but the Red Team has changed its gaming GPU branding whenever a new architecture has landed, so that may as well happen again. There is no UDNA 5 code name. After UDNA 4, it will be UDNA. MI400 and RX 9000 use the same UDNA, and the architecture uses an ALU design similar to GCN. UDNA gaming GPU is tentatively scheduled for mass production in Q2 26. Sony's PS6 will use UDNA, and the CPU has not yet been determined to be Zen 4 or Zen 5. Sony's handheld will also use AMD hardware. I heard that Microsoft's handheld will choose between Qualcomm and AMD? I don't know about this. The above information comes from the supply chain, and I don't know the specifications and performance. Via Chifel forums on the architectural side, the user says that the UDNA architecture will have a similar ALU design as the past GCN series, so it looks like AMD has gone back to the drawing board and will be making something entirely from the ground up. AMD's upcoming RDNA 4 generation of Radeon GPUs is going to compete in the mainstream segment, with the Red Team pulling out of the enthusiast GPU segment where Nvidia dominates the market. So it will be interesting to see if first-gen UDNA gives AMD the needed boost to re-enter the enthusiast market strongly or wait for another gen. Interestingly, the Sony PlayStation 6, PS6, is also said to utilize the same UDNA architecture. The Sony PS5 Pro currently uses a hybrid RDNA 3 and RDNA 4 design, leveraging the same compute capabilities as the existing architecture while also benefiting from some of the technologies that we will see on consumer-grade GPUs next year in the form of faster ray tracing and eye capabilities. The Red Team is also working on an IXL rated FSR solution which is said to be similar to Nvidia's DLSS in many ways. For the CPU side, it is not known if AMD will use Zen 4 or Zen 5, but the next-gen Sony handheld is said to leverage AMD hardware too. The leaker also alleges that Microsoft is working on its handheld and will have the choice to select between Qualcomm and AMD, but given how strong AMD has gotten in the handheld segment, it will be the wisest choice, since Qualcomm still has a long way to go in the GPU department despite offering strong NPU/CPU capabilities. Next-gen Orin cores have already been teased, so it will be interesting to see how the IPC and handheld segments stack up, especially with the arrival of Nvidia in the same segment. Overall, there is a lot of interesting talk, and while we can't wait to see the next gen of Radeon gaming GPUs based on the UDNA architecture, we first have to see how RDNA 4 does to get a clear picture of what way the Red Team paves forward for the gaming masses.